uninspired, nonlinear thinking that leads either to some form of random order or some form of mental diarrhea with incoherent thoughts mashing up into chaotic words of complete insignificance. Nothing serves me more than the hazy times in between wakefulness and complete darkness to feel the most coherent and stable within myself. Only in my own strange imperfections do I find peace of mind, in the space between nightmares and dreams, where things find themselves touching and moving in seemingly unnatural ways, where things are expressed as what they are and not what I wish them to be. Nothing exists and interacts only with itself, and in the same way I cannot see myself, only thoughts, and these are not me. I cannot interact with myself. I cannot know myself from my own thoughts. I can only know myself from what I see myself produce, and even then, I do not know myself completely. I am one with darkness, we all are, but to deny it, we must run away as if we could run away from ourselves. We run and coat ourselves in things to build a shell where we cover all that we are, but to maintain ignorance to our darkness continues to be the goal. Expand and never look inside, it's boring in there anyway. Most can barely see the dark, and of those who see it, only a few can take the time to understand it, to understand things that cannot be understood. Too much noise will leave you deaf, as most are. Most cannot make the distinction between what is and what is not. In the puddle falls a drop, but the butterfly effect is total bullshit. So-called intellectuals make up fancy ideas and market the shit out of them, not in the benefit of the individual, but in their own selfish benefit that starts and ends only with them. Test these ideas in realistic situations and watch them fall apart. Religious ideologies fall apart in the light of some basic logic, simply exposing the tip of the bullshit iceberg they are structured on. Despite religion being necessary at some point in history, it is evident throughout practical knowledge that it is no longer the case. Religions of today are tomorrow's mythologies, as it is that today's mythologies are yesterday's religions, but the symbols remain the same, restructuring themselves throughout our thoughts into diverse representations of the same stories, as if stored there by those wise enough to understand. Religions were never the end goal, but simply the doorway to understand the structure of the soul and how it dances with the universe. But the darkness remains, as it always will, kept beneath to be discovered over and over again by those souls brave enough to fear the death of their own curiosity far more than a life of mediocrity, and even death, for bravery is either stupid or wise, there cannot be both. Bravery, even within itself, contains fear of something greater, for to lose fear is not unlike losing the sense of pain. Without pain there is death, without fear there is death. The key is finding, in fear, that which is useful. Look into this darkness, into the darkness of fear and destruction, and see yourself clearer. Nothing can be said if nothing can be feared. There is a time for all things. Nothing on its own is bad, so men can travel in hostile water just as well as in calm waters. The smell that comes before grains cannot be explained in a book, it can only be felt and experienced. Most things cannot even be composed into words and passed on. Words are only shadows on the walls of what is the real world. The real world exists out there, and as useful as books can be, there is a limit to what books can teach us. At some point, theory must be put to the test that all ideas are subjected to, and if they die, they should die, and stay in the books as precisely what they are. Mental experiments, ideas that failed, or maybe one step closer, or one step away from finding the shape of what really exists. Ideas have a multi-dimensional nature to them that can be best exemplified by the elements from a periodic table. Some mixtures of these elements are robust and can withstand the test of time, but when a better idea emerges, those who take hold of it evolve the idea into multiple forms, making it stronger, or find reasons why it does not work, just to leave it discarded by some and to be consumed by those proficient in the art of belief without solid proofs. And the cycle continues. Ideas proliferate into the entirety of human existence, navigating through us in ways unknown, showing us in dreams ways to implement them, even if the effectiveness is ignored and we die within them. Ideas consume us and we consume them in an extreme mixture of constant change, until the idea solidifies and finds the lowest state of energy that it can rest being right, or at least as right as it can be.